114 responds.
Nobody knows anything.
The helicopter came across the roof.
Seems to be a little more than a fire drill.
Yeah, people were surprised and panicked.
It was a few minutes after lunch when crisis hit the classroom.
It's like a fire alarm, just get out.
All 1,100 students here at Parkville Middle were evacuated.
Parkville Middle School, 8711 Avondale Road.
See, they're taking one little girl away right now.
After one student, after another, complained of respiratory problems.
I was having breathing problems like early on in the day, but it wasn't that strong. And then later on, like after lunch, I started breathing heavy, so I went to the nurse.
Call group 12-1406.
Paramedics examined 15 students. 5 of them were raced to the hospital. At the same time, many parents raced to the school in a desperate search for their children.
It's very concerning if I could find out I can't locate him right now, and I don't want to go ahead and interfere with anything.
As hundreds of students waited on the lawn, hazmat crews combed the school for clues.
At this time, we have not found anything out of the ordinary. The oxygen levels are normal. There's no evidence of carbon monoxide.
After 2 hours, hazmat crews failed to find a cause, but Gregory DeBurn did find his son.
Well, now I'm relieved. Relieved. Everybody seems to be, pretty calmed down now.
Investigators suspect pollen could be to blame. Tonight, the school is open again. The air, they insist, is clear.
We gave each other big hugs.
Yeah,
big hugs.
everybody's happy.
Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News at 10.
Everything's on fire. It's really burned to nothing.
When parts of the Edmondson Village Shopping Center started going up in flames,
White smoke, black smoke.
just about everybody around stood by and watched.
So it's really bad up there.
Except Shanita Chester.
I've glanced over there, but it's just so hard to even just keep staring at it.
Shanita is the store manager at the Ashley Stewart Women's Clothing Store at the west end of the mall. She and 2 others were at the store early this morning to do inventory when a couple hours later they smelled smoke.
So we went out back room to see if something was burning or was something on fire or something like that, but it wasn't.
Officials believe the fire started in the attic of the clothing store and spread to 2 other businesses that appeared to be closed at the time.
No, call, drop that.
But as firefighters continued to attack the blaze, the flames only grew, causing part of the clothing store to collapse and toppling 2 nearby utility poles.
It's really, really bad.
That shut down power to several other businesses and Edmondson High School, which were all evacuated.
We had a very difficult time getting into that attic area. There were several false ceilings in that building. So as the fire developed, we made the decision to pull the crews back out of the building.
Firefighters finally gained control of the fire without anyone getting hurt. But it does hurt, though, for Shanita, who's worked at Ashley Stewart for more than a decade.
Hopefully they rebuild, the Ashley store, because this store brought a lot of customers and, a great spirit to this neighborhood.
In Southwest Baltimore, Miranda Stevens, Fox 45 News at 10.
It's the mad scramble for suitcases.
You can be my helper when I try to get in.
Southwest Flight 1347 just arrived.
Coming from Houston, getting away from the storm.
Chris Times travels with his ailing mother, Irma.
And we just didn't want to put her through any more trauma.
Dozens of evacuees are eager to escape from Ike.
And we were just worried about how the house was and the storm and the intensity of it, so decided to come here.
For many, it's a last-minute visit to the Baltimore region rather than stay at home and try to hide from a hurricane.
My name's Rayed.
They're going to Grandma's.
I'm 9.
While hurricanes make some people nervous, not Irma.
They're not scary to me.
Irma is trying to get to her other son's home in Williamsburg, but Baltimore was the closest flight they could find.
Well, we happen to share seats across the aisle.
Nancy was supposed to go home to Gaithersburg.
Hey, where are you, babe?
But Irma's plight prompts a 5-hour detour.
We're all going to drive to Williamsburg together. Yep. Stop right there. Stop. We're right where you are. Okay. Okay, thanks. Love you. Okay, the chariot is here.
Once strangers,
You gotta hold really tight, Irma.
now friends.
You got her, babe.
Angels for Irma.
Okay, just rest.
And I asked the Lord about some intervention. Sure enough, he sent these folks.
It could be any one of us needing help, and if you were in the situation, you want somebody to help you too.
In Anne Arundel County,
An adventure, right, Irma?
Kathleen Cairns, Fox 45, News at 10.
They just call me Spoon and call me the old legend. When I first started playing spoons, I was 8 years old. America's beautiful. It's always have been.
Reflect.
America is a great opportunity.
Reflect.
We have a great people. Reflect.
Reflect. Reflect. Reflect.
Reflection on America.
We're in Baltimore, Maryland.
We've got vast problems with mortgages at the moment, but it would seem that everybody's laying the blame at the banks.
We're just in a bad situation right now. Who's going to be paying for it? We're going to be paying for it.
These CEOs walking away with all this money.
I think it's not messed up. I don't think it's destroyed. I think it can be repaired. Come on in.
And I do feel bad for the president. Whoever becomes president, they got a handful.
I can reflect on crime because crime I don't like.
Good morning, Miss Lady. Nationally, I think there's a big problem.
I think the main difference in the US is that all the police are armed. You should definitely not have one in the house. I don't have one. I have 4 kids. I would never have a gun in my house. It's more accessible to carry a weapon in America than it is at home.
It's like the lack of jobs too. I mean, some people get desperate. Some people, people have to eat.
You got to push the people more that wants a clean environment.
If everybody did a little bit, it would make a big difference. I recycle, that's my hybrid.
I think the biggest problem at the moment is whether we're producing too much carbon dioxide.
If I could save the world, I would quit throwing stuff out, start making stuff out of it.
Ban all oil products in connection with cars.
Miss Arlenius?
My dream for the world is to find a cure for breast cancer.
I'd like to see the world become a cleaner place, that's all.
They don't belong over there. We can't be too for sure to walk away from Iraq with our hands down and our backs turned.
Everyone wants to see peace, but it's like, how do you get there?
Love is a wonderful thing.
We're all different, and I think that's the wonderful thing. And this is very weird talking to an egg.
I just love living in America. That's all.
Reflect.
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 Reflect on America. Clip.
It just means unbelievable, terrible death and carnage.
And the two great armies met here on a Wednesday in September, fought for 12 hours across this landscape, and at the end of 12 hours, 23,000 men had been killed or wounded. Once again, the bloodiest one-day battle in American history.
The wind's not really helping, and it's like 25 degrees, so each of these represents a dead, wounded, or missing soldier.
We are lighting the luminaries, the so-called luminaries for Antietam Battlefield. My name's Paul Kemp, and I've been doing it for 10 years, I guess. We have a whole other field to light.
Hopefully it doesn't light the whole bag on fire.
There we go, it's going.
Really the whole point of the luminaries is to give you a sense of those numbers. You can throw numbers around all day, 23,000, what does that mean? And it doesn't mean anything until you see 23,000 candles at one time spread across a 5-mile driving route.
It means a lot to me. It's so much carnage and so much horror, especially right here in Bloody Lane. Great-grandfather, yeah, he fought here with Jackson. He was on the Confederate side. They were incredibly brave. Uh-oh, another fire.
Oh, we got a fire! That was number 7. Do we have another box of them?
It touches me to see these young kids out here, and if they learn and they carry on the tradition, then this is a good thing.
Like, some of these kids were like my age. I'm 16, and they were enlisting, and I can't even like fathom that.
Thousands of people that died right here on this holy soil. People who displayed just incredible bravery.
It's just an awesome sight. You just, from as far as the distance you can see, there are just candles, bag candles upon candles. You get that feeling that there's a spirit still lingering.
There are ghosts everywhere. It's just terrible death, but great bravery, great stuff.
In Hagerstown, holiday decorating is already underway. For Joyce McCarney, it's bittersweet.
Well, Thanksgiving's coming up. She's not going to be here again, and it's been, well, going on 6 years.
Her youngest daughter, Cindy, cannot travel.
It's about an hour and 20 minutes away from Hagerstown. We live in Hagerstown.
Joyce says her daughter will instead pass the time alone.
I need their love.
Without her mother.
Because I don't think I could make it without them.
Without her 2 children. Using the time to just be creative.
She says it takes weeks to do something like this.
Cindy's homemade quilts are piling up.
I like pink because, I don't know, pink and cream is my color. Amazing, that's the word, amazing.
I'm the first person like in my family that's been able to ever do like anything creative.
Cindy spends countless hours with a needle in her hand.
Because we want the stitches to be close.
Because she has nowhere else to go.
I was arrested for distribution of crack cocaine. I'm serving 10 years without parole.
The Patuxent Institution is Cindy's home.
I know it's prison, but it's been a wonderful experience for me.
Surrounded by bars and fueled by faith.
I ask God to forgive me for my sins. I ask Him to watch over my family. And I thank Him for all the good and the bad.
Cindy now uses her hands for the greater good.
It's definitely therapeutic.
There are a dozen women who have found comfort in the quilting program at the jail. Their works of art are now being donated to local children in need.
You know, it's giving back. That's the best part of it.
She took a lot from the community. Now she's giving back, and I'm so proud of her.
A mother and daughter now just wait until the law says they can be reunited.
I think in 2011, but I'm not sure.
I wish that I could walk in the door on Christmas Day.
Kathleen Cairns, Fox 45, News at 10.
It's been a good ride. Shane's heard a lot in his life. You can't do this, you won't do this, you won't reach this goal, you can't make it.
Within 24 hours, this high school senior will be a high school graduate.
And it's going to be very special.
That's right.
Working with him has been one of the biggest eye-opening experiences I've ever had.
You see, this isn't your typical high school student.
And tomorrow I'll be smiling and probably crying too. I'm a man and I can admit that too.
Shane has cerebral palsy, a disorder that affects his muscle tone, movement, and motor skills.
Shaney Wady.
But that hasn't affected his outlook on life.
So what are you going to miss me tomorrow?
Of course.
What's your favorite part about me?
Your sense of humor, your comedic timing.
Come on, Mrs. Jones.
Not in front of the camera.
He needs to run over you.
Wants to beat me up.
In a matter of hours, Shane hopes to achieve something few people ever expected he could.
Watch me chase a dream today, okay? Because it's going to be a beautiful thing.
But he refuses to hear no. He has an idea in his heart and in his mind of what he wants to do, and he's going to get it.
I'll see you tomorrow.
It's off to physical therapy.
God, get the women.
Yeah. Look how they all came running.
Every Friday for an entire year, Shane's pushed with everything he has in hopes of making his muscles more flexible.
I want to do it.
This is time away from home and school when Shane can reflect on his life.
Sometimes I even say, why does Jesus put me in a wheelchair? But sometimes when I don't know the answer, they're always right in front of my face, and I just have to look and see.
Go, Shane, go.
Do you see any wheelchair behind me? That's how I want it.
For the first time since childhood, Shane is able to walk.
To actually see my child stand up for the first time and realize that he was taller than me was amazing. It took my breath away.
So he's doing most of the work.
Motivated beyond anyone's expectations.
Are you sweating yet?
Yeah.
This high school senior not only plans to graduate, he plans to walk during the ceremony.
I feel like when they take me out of my wheelchair, they're just a bunch of angels taking me out of my wheelchair and letting me do something that I'm not used to being able to do.
Doctors had doubts whether Shane would make it this far, and his mom wasn't sure either. But
here we are today, a year later.
It's go time. You got it.
Today I finally get the piece of paper I've been dreaming about.
Dressed and ready to go, Shane is one step closer to his dream.
I just hope I can walk.
And now please welcome our 2008 graduates.
Come on, Shane!
The time has come for graduating seniors to take their seats. This is his moment, and Shane comes through like a champion.
Shane Caldwell Hargis.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to thank my PTs, Jen, Lydia, and Miss Liz. And thanks, Mom, for always being there.
Oh.
A high school graduate, his mom likes to describe as a young man with an old soul, teaching those around him a lesson in life.
That was fantastic. Give him a hug. That was fantastic. You did a great job, and thank you for what you said. That was wonderful. You made me cry.
That I finally have hope instead of somebody tearing me down.
It's okay. You can. It's okay.
In North Baltimore, Joy LaPola, Fox 45, News at 10.